Perfect. So welcome everyone to our third web conference for English 6. Today we'll review and clarify the final key tasks of the course. Okay, so we are going to talk about task 6, task 7, that is a proctored evaluation. I'll explain what's that. Then little explanation on task 8. Let's begin with the agenda. So here's our agenda for today's session. We'll begin with task 6, continue with details about the proctored quiz in task 7, and conclude with task 8. We'll also review the references and finish with a questions and answer session, okay? Before we get into today's main topic, let's look at task 6, which is the overview. So task 6 is once again a collaborative task that will allow you to improve your fluency using future continuous and future perfect tenses, along with linking words for contrast, purpose, and reason. You will work with your group in 3 writing and 3 speaking challenges. So we are repeating the same methodology as tasks 2 and 4, okay? But we are using a different grammar structures this time. So what are those challenges? You will complete 6 challenges total. 3 of them are speaking and 3 of them are writing. For the speaking challenges, in the first week of the task, you are doing an individual video once again. That's the video that WeTutor evaluate as your pronunciation, your ability to communicate, to express yourself, your accent, the use of grammar. That's the individual part we can evaluate. Okay, so the idea is to post your individual video early on in this week, let's say tomorrow, okay, so that you can get feedback and improve it if necessary. In that case, if you do it during this week, your second video, which is the one that you improved, is the one that is going to be evaluated. If you don't improve it in this first week, so the only one video posted in the forum is the one that is going to be evaluated. Again, it's individual. It is your speaking, your ability to pronounce, to use your fluency, to see how much you can talk, okay? The second speaking challenge in the second week, it's different. It's a conversation. You need a partner. You need another person to talk to, because in that video, what we evaluate, it's your ability to communicate with another person, your ability to wait for the other person to talk, see how much you understand, and answer back. Okay, it's a conversation, it's an interaction. That's what we evaluate. So it cannot be done on your own. It is not, some of you are actually very creative and you are recording yourself with different outfits and having a kind of conversation, but it's not really an interaction. It's a scripted kind of conversation. It doesn't show us interaction. It does not show that you are able to talk to someone. And one of the main issues we have when we are learning a language is that ability to communicate with others. So second video in the second week, is with a partner, yes or yes, because we are evaluating interaction. The third speaking video is a group, minimum 3 students, maximum 6, okay? Why? Because it's a debate. And a debate is very different from a conversation, and it's very different from an individual performance. In a debate, the group needs to talk, to debate, to ask questions, to follow up in the conversation, to be able to argue. It doesn't mean that you have to agree with everything the other person says. A debate means that I say an idea and my classmate might say, wait, no, I don't agree with what you are saying. I think, and then you complete the debate. And then you say your idea, and another person can say, oh yes, no, I agree with that part, or I don't agree. So a debate is a completely different speaking part. It cannot be done, again, with scripted material, because some of you are reading and in order, and some of you are even doing individual videos, and then another person puts them all together like they are stitching the debate. That's not the purpose of a debate. And you are going to find out that in English 7, which is English conversation, many problems in that course is that you are not ready to debate and to have meaningful conversations with no scripts in them. So this is actually a practice for you. When you get into English conversation, you'll be able to do the tasks that specific course is gonna ask you to do, okay? What's the hard part for you in this task? The use of the grammar and vocabulary from the learning activity. That would be the difficult part, because when we are talking without thinking about the grammar structure, it sounds more natural. If you are thinking about a grammar structure, it gets harder. Okay. That would be the speaking. Now, writing. For the writing part, I know many of you might think that writing on your own is easier. But the purpose of writing, when we are really writing, in academic writing, we do need other people to tell us what we are doing wrong. How can we improve what we are writing? And especially in learning a foreign language. So that's the idea of these writing challenges, that you start the challenge, one of you start the challenge in the group, and the other ones start complementing what you wrote at the beginning. If something doesn't make sense, if it's not coherent, then as a group, you say, wait, no, that idea does not go with the general topic as a group. Once again, we are using the same grammar structures that we are using in the speaking as practice, okay? Once again, we are doing a poem in the first week. Poems are different from narratives or essays. They require a different vision. So that's the way you can get creative with the poem. Debating future possibilities gives you that kind of idea of how to debate after that in the third week with your speaking challenge for debate. And the way to practice the reported speech will be with the news report. Okay, that would be the third challenge. So that's pretty much the challenges. Forums are already open in every single group. All your tutors open them in advance, so you can start participating today, okay? They were actually open since yesterday, but you can't start today. What do you need to submit? Everything must be posted in the forum so that we can actually evaluate that you are following the instructions, okay? The document is nothing but putting together that part in the forum into a document to get some extra points for APA. But in reality, all the task is done in the forum. Okay? If you don't post, for example, the minutes, like your collaboration in the minutes in the forum, we tutors do not know what was your role in the elaboration of the minutes. You can say, oh, I was the editor. And if you were the editor and I check the minutes and it's full of mistakes, writing mistakes, I don't know if I can blame you for that, because there is nothing in the forum that tells me that you were actually the editor. Or if you say, no, I'm gonna be the one in charge of taking notes in the first part. But then that part is incomplete. So the editor didn't do the job checking that it was complete, and the one in charge of the first part, for example, was not there. So we tutors cannot check what you did if it is not in the forum. Okay, that is why it's so important that during this week, you as a group start doing the minutes as well. Okay, together with your individual video and the poem. Those are the three things that you are required to do this first week. The minutes, this the first speaking challenge, which is individual, and the writing challenge. What else do you need? You need to evaluate, to self-evaluate your video, okay? And write a little comment, not the whole annex that I gave you to help you out the evaluation, but just a little comment on your own video saying, you know what? I did notice that in this video, I'm having trouble remembering the grammar structures. I know the topic, I know the vocabulary, but somehow I'm unable to use the grammar structures. That's a little comment that can go after your video, after you evaluate your video, so that I know that you're actually doing the process of self-evaluating yourself. If that self-evaluation is not in the forum, we tutors don't know if you did it on time, that little part of the self-evaluation, to re-record your video, or if it was done at the end just as a requirement, okay? So take that into consideration, because the document is just the compilation of everything you do in the forum. If it is not in the forum, it shouldn't go in the document, okay? That's something to be clear. Why? Because when we are evaluating, we always open the forum for each student, and we look at the participation of each student. So if something is missing, we cannot evaluate it, even if it is in the document, because we don't know if it was placed by the student himself or by someone else trying to help. Okay. References again, APA. You should know that when you are referencing, we are not referencing what it is in the course, like the grammar references list that I give you, but we are learning how to reference your own videos, your pair videos, your debate videos, okay? That's something you need to learn to do. Reference different types of material. Books are referenced different from articles, from web pages, from videos. And so you have your own videos. You need to reference your video. So remember to use your last name, the initial of your first name, the year. And for a video, usually goes the date it was posted in YouTube or uploaded to YouTube. You can even give a name to your challenge, to your video, if you want to. So whatever information is on YouTube, that's what you use for the reference, and you will have the link there. that goes at the end in the reference list. So sometimes I write, your references are incomplete. It's because you share the link alone, just the link, your name and the link, and at the end, there's no reference of that video, okay? And it is just to practice. All right, that would be the final submission. Again, one person is in charge of sending the document to the space for the group evaluation. Let's go over task 7, which is a proctored evaluation. You should know that task 7 is a proctored quiz that evaluates your understanding of linking devices and future tenses in context. Once again, we are practicing the grammar of task 6. You have 30 minutes and 1 attempt. So the idea is not to leave the quiz for the last day, because you have until May 11 to do it. But a good day to do it would be May 9, May 10th, at least one day before the due date. That will give you ample time to, if there is any issue, that you can actually kind of solve it. Being a proctored quiz, there are some specific instructions for the proctoring, okay? You need to follow the steps before taking the quiz. You need to register early. You can do it right now. If you want to this week, during this task 6, you can register for task 7. Do the simulation. There is a simulation to see if the proctoring works with your computer, with your cell phone, with your tablet, with whatever device you are using to take the quiz. And if anything fails, you need to report it immediately through the support channels listed here, okay? So it's support.campus@unad.edu.co, or you can even, well, it says a WhatsApp, but that number doesn't look like a WhatsApp. It's in the webpage anyway, it's in the campus. It's in campus, you can find that information. Those are the guys you need to contact, not me as the course director or your tutor, because we do not have anything to do with that proctoring part of the quiz, okay? You contact them, and if they tell you, okay, do this, do that, that's the evidence you need to send me so that I can see, oh, okay, no, yeah, the contacted Soporte, and I can reopen the quiz. After you do that part, the technical issue goes with Soporte, okay? So that is why it's so important for you to register early, do the simulation, and contact if anything fails. Once again, the quiz will not be reopened unless there's a verified force majeure circumstance. For example, power outage, a natural disaster, a documented health emergency. Those are the ones according to Reglamento Estudiantil. So in such cases, you can submit your formal proof and contact your tutor and course director immediately, okay? So that we can check what's the problem, and then we can reopen the quiz. That would be the only way we can reopen a quiz. If it is due to the proctoring part, again, contact support campus first, okay? They will tell you what to do, how to solve the issue, because sometimes they get technical issues like, oh, my camera is not working, I don't have Windows 10, I think is one of the requirements. Those are tiny details that you need to check. And so that is why you can register now, wait a little bit, do the simulation, and then you can take the quiz. For this quiz, you need to have your camera on and your microphone on. If they are not on, the quiz is not valid, because that's what proctoring says, okay? So that would be task 7. Task 8. Let's look at the overview of task 8. This is the only individual task. It's the final task, so it's going to be individual. Like few. In this final assessment, your English proficiency level in all 4 skills will be evaluated. Okay. And each component is assessed using authentic tools aligned with international standards. Since it is the final task and as an individual task, you can get 125 points. What are the components that you need to complete task 8? There are 4 parts. The first part is a Saber Pro English mock exam. Why are we doing a mock exam? Because you need to present the Saber Pro, and you should focus your Saber Pro in your English level and your English component. Saber Pro gets all the way to B2. That's the highest level in Saber Pro. Okay, so it's not going to help you to graduate, like the level you get there is not going to help you to graduate, but it's going to give you an experience of an English exam. And Saber Pro is kind of different from international tests. Saber Pro, you got the prompt in Spanish, and then you do the test in English. So this is a mock exam of what you are going to find in Saber Pro. And the idea is to just give you that experience. Then you are going to have a speaking test in Smalltalk. Smalltalk is a nice app where you can also practice your speaking on a daily basis, but the test is only once. You can do it once without paying, okay? So to do that test, you need to be prepared. You need to be ready to speak with a working microphone, no noise background, and that would be how we evaluate the speaking test. You will get a score level with that speaking test. And what you are sharing as evidence is a link that gives you the page. And in that link, the level is visible and the recording of the test is right there for your tutors to check, okay? Then you are going to do the writing part in Write and Improve writing task. This is a little different from other times where I just leave students to do it on their own and take a screenshot. In this case, you are going to record your writing alive, meaning your camera should be on, your microphone should be on, and then you will writing alive, like an international test for writing when you are doing it online. And finally, some Oxford tests, okay? Here is the listening, and for that one, you need evidence as well of taking that listening test in the Oxford webpage. How are we going to verify that is you, the one taking the exam? So if the evidence asks for a screenshot, because there are different types of evidence. If the evidence includes screenshots, then it needs to be the full browser window with the navigation page visible, the date and time clearly displayed at the bottom of the computer, your username or your visible email session info. And if you don't have that, turn on your camera and smile when you are taking the screenshot. So that's the only evidence we can ask you to prove you were the one doing the test. If it is a video recording, like for the writing and the listening test, so of course your image should be clear while taking the test, the whole screen during the activity, and your microphone should be open. Okay, that's how we are going to verify that your evidence is good for evaluation. If your face or your interface is not visible, the test will be considered invalid. We don't know who is presenting the test. Okay, so careful with the evidence you are sending for evaluation. Because even though we are evaluating your level, we need to see it was you who completed the task. All right, final tips and questions. So remember to respect deadlines, collaborate actively, and submit a polished, well-formatted work. Ask questions. We got Sebastian. Sebastian is the one to ask. Tell me, Sebastian.
Okay, good morning. Morning. Okay, our question. So if I have problems with the tool of PyCD, this can be affect my rules.
Could you repeat? Could you repeat your question, please? I just turn on the volume as high as I can because it's a little bit noisy here, so I couldn't listen you well. Repeat your question, please.
Please, teacher, I have a question. If I have troubles with my PCD ID, this can affect my tasks. When I do, I ask when I do evaluation.
Yes, yes, you need the webcam. Yes or yes for the final evaluation. You need it. And
the final install the PyCD, okay, the PyCD. Would I have troubles with it?
Well, for those type of questions, if it is for task 7, the proctoring one, that's when you need to contact Soporte Campus. They will let you know what to do instead of that. But
okay.
That is why you can a simulation.
I think it's trouble with the software. I think that, I guess.
A software, yeah, a software problem. Those are the type of issues you can talk to Soporte so that they can let you know what to do, or if it is easier for you to use your cell phone, for example, instead of the computer. Since the quiz is only 10 questions, I mean, like all the quizzes we have had, and it's also multiple questions, shouldn't be that difficult. But the problem is always the proctoring, because they require a specific software and a specific tools.
Okay.
But that goes with Soporte. If you don't have the software, you can talk to Soporte, and Soporte can give you what to do. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much. That is all.
There you go. Daniel. Daniel, you are next. Daniel.
Teacher, he's in the chat.
In the chat. Oh, okay, wait. Why you are not speaking, Daniel? You should be speaking. Remember, this is your opportunity to practice the language as well. May you say again about the explanation, could be, about the speaking final part? That's with small talk. It's an app. You can only register once with your email and present the test one time. And what the page does is, at the end, give you the score and a report and a link with the level, with the report, and with the recording of the test. So you will share in the document, you will share the link of the report that comes with the recording. If by any chance you have a problem doing that speaking part, you can use a different email account to open another opportunity. But just one time you can use your the test for the small talk with one email. If not, you will have to pay, and I don't want you to pay. So you can practice before taking that test. And it needs to be the one that there. What? Someone is speaking. I am listening to a voice in Spanish, but all right. There's another question here in the chat that says, how is the writing evaluation? Okay, the writing evaluation is in a web page also. It's a Cambridge page. There is a prompt there, and you need to record while you are doing the writing part. So in that way, we avoid using artificial intelligence to do our writing, and tutors can see your face and listen to you while writing, while typing your writing part. And at the end, Cambridge will give you also a score according to the Common European Framework. It tells you if you are B1, B2, C1, C2, depending on how well you answer the prompt of the writing, which is in the page, it's in the web page. In the instructions of task 8, you will find all the links that you need to open and go to every test you have for the final evaluation, okay? But that one needs to be recorded with your camera on and your microphone on so that we can verify is you doing the writing. Any more questions? Ladies.
Hi, teacher. Good morning. So my question is related with tax 7 and tax 8 because my case is kind of special. I am a person with visual disability. I am blind, so I use my computer with a special software, a screen reader that allows me to hear what is on the screen. So related with the proctoring application is going to be difficult for me because I had this kind of exams in the last courses, and a relative had to help me with it. So I don't know if I got in troubles while I am presenting the exam because I cannot see the screen. I just hear what is on the screen. So, and the same problem with tax 8 because this kind of international exams, sometimes my software, it has some limitations, and in some cases these kind of pages are not very friendly with it, and I cannot read everything that is on the screen and manage also the microphone and the webcam at the same time. So I am a bit worried because I am thinking that this is going to be very difficult for me. So what can I do in my case? That is something, you know, kind of special.
That is a very good question, lady. Where are you? In which center are you registered?
I am in SEAD Medellin.
At Medellin. Okay, so what we can do, lady, um, if it is possible, because you said you got your software in your computer, right? Is it a laptop or is it a desk computer? It's a desk.
No, it's a laptop. As I told you before, I have had experiences with both things, with the proctoring and with this kind of exams. But the experiences hadn't been very nice.
Very friendly. Yeah, no, I know. I'm
So,
asking where are you because what I can do is to talk to one of our tutors in the program in Medellin where you are registered. So what I can ask them is to help me out with you in your case. You go there, if you go to the center where you are registered, I can ask one of the tutors to be with you while you are presenting the quiz so that he can
okay.
actually help you out with for example, the questions that you are going to find in the speaking test. Because in the speaking test, you got a question, you have to read a question, and then you will answer the question while speaking. So if I ask one of the tutors and we look at the video, we will know that is a tutor there just helping you to read, for example, the screen and the instructions so that you don't have problems presenting either one of those. Okay, so that would be one option that I can give you is to contact one of the tutors in SEAD Medellin and help you out with that part. Okay. The other
Okay.
part, the other option, depending on different circumstances, because I'm thinking you have a kind of an interpreter, is that you said someone to help you out sometimes?
Mhm.
Because the other thing to do it would be, does she speak English? I mean, is she learning with you, or does she
No,
already have the level?
for that reason was difficult because the other person helped me to check that the proctoring was ready, and then I started with the exam, and he was paying attention that the proctoring was working, and I was hiding him to don't appear in the camera because if someone else appear in the camera, the exam is going to be invalid.
Well,
So for
yes.
that reason is that I say that it's kind of difficult.
But no,
Also with the
your case is a special case. So that is something that we can work out with Soporte Campus.
Mhm.
We can ask him, ask Soporte what can be done in that case. But the other option I'm giving you is to use one of the tutors in the program at SEAD Medellin. Like I can ask someone there to help you out. You would tell me the date and time so that I know who's there to help you. Okay.
Okay,
That,
teacher, thanks.
yeah, because of course it's some of the subwars and some of the pages does not allow for what you're saying, the reader, the screen reader. So yeah,
Hmm. Okay,
there. Yeah,
thanks.
we can figure it out. Don't you worry.
Okay, okay, thank you.
All right. Jorge.
Hello, teacher. Good morning.
Morning. How you doing?
I'm great, teacher. What about you? Teacher, I'm a little confused because in my mail I got the invitation for two-week conferences. One now, the one that is having with you, but there is another at 2 p.m. But I don't know if
Different
I'm.
courses.
y-
Two different courses. This one is English 6 in the afternoon. We are having
Yeah.
the web conference for English composition.
Okay. So this is not the one that I have to be.
Well, if you got the invitation, probably.
Yeah, I got
Yeah, no,
both
it's
invitations.
a double
Yeah.
invitation, but I send the invitation to everyone in the course. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, there are two different web conferences.
Uh,
One is this one in the morning is for English 6, And in the afternoon is the web conference for English composition.
Okay, so this is my web conference because I'm in English. I mean English 6.
You are in both courses, probably. That is why you get the invitation for both of the courses.
No, I'm just in English 6, teacher. No, not in English composition.
So weird that you got the invitation in English composition then.
I don't know. I don't know, teacher. Yeah, one of my partner have the same case. She got the both invitations.
Patients? Well, that might be my mistake then because I have too many. I probably just copied in both courses and I didn't notice I was sending the
Okay,
invitation.
teacher. No problem,
Yeah,
teacher.
it's
I'm
because of
staying
that.
here. Yeah. Okay. Thanks a lot, teacher.
All right. I have one question in the chat that says that in the guide, or I don't see in the guide where they ask for screenshots of the web. Do we need to verify our participation in this web conference? No, you don't. That is why you need to do the minutes this week with your collaborative group in the forum. This course does not ask you for screenshots of the web conference. That's not the evidence. The evidence is that you and your group write the minutes of the meeting. So if you are here, you are lucky because you can ask questions and clarify some of the things. And the ones that are not here, as soon as this meeting is over, I will share the recording in the space and campus so that you can go there and check the recording and do the minutes with your group based on the recording. Okay, so it is no screenshots for this web conference. You don't need that. So we are in the English 6 web conference. What other questions do you have? So remember, my dear ones, I really want to emphasize the importance of forum participation, okay? If it is not in the forum, it is hard for us as tutors to evaluate you, okay? Remember that language learning is a process. We are not really looking at the final product, but the process you are doing to get to that final product, okay? Because if you do the process, it will be evident in the final product that you improved and that you are getting better with your language usage, okay? If you are only focusing on the product without taking into account the process, then that is visible too. When we are listening to your videos and checking on your progress, we can see if you are doing it at a nice pace on a daily basis, trying to improve and get the best possible product, or if you are just doing it because you have to do it for a grade, for a score, okay? So it's very important that you practice the language every single day. And that's one of the reasons we are asking you to post in the forum. Remember that the forum is open 24 hours, 7 days a week, okay? But that our forums have a time limit in terms of when this first challenge should be done, which is the first week. So even you can post 24/7 is in that time frame, in the first week. We are already in, we are starting week 1. So like I say, hopefully by tomorrow, you are starting to write the minutes. And the day after tomorrow, Wednesday, you will post your first video, okay? And on Thursday, you can then give feedback to one of your classmates. And on Friday, you can work together on the poem. And on Saturday, you will be editing the information, putting together in the document, and you'll be ready to start the next week. So that's the idea of working on a daily basis. It is difficult. Yes, it is difficult. It is not an easy step, but if you were studying in a face-to-face environment, you will have 2 hours daily of an English language course. That's how face-to-face universities and bachelor programs work with languages. They need to work with the language every single day, 2 hours per day. So a total of 10 hours at least during the week. And you are doing it on your own. This is autonomous learning, so it is even harder because it is more than 2 hours what you are doing, to be honest. But it's something that you require to do if you want to get the level for a great, fabulous English teacher. Okay? Questions? Any more questions? Comments? Something that's not clear? No? No more questions? Okay, says, where can we practice for this exam? Which one? We have two. We have task 7, which is a quiz. It's on campus, the proctoring one, and you have a simulation in Spanish, but then you do the quiz in English. Or task 8, which have 4 different components. The 4 different components. You can practice, like I said, for the speaking one, you can have daily practice, but with no score. Not the test, but just some daily practice you can do in the same web page. But for the quiz, you only have 1 chance. So do not do it now. You have that
Teacher.
wait until you can do it on time. Who said teacher? Someone said teacher.
Teacher,
Yes?
teacher, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Teacher, at the last phase, I can see my scores. Why?
Right. And it's not phase. Pay attention, it's not phase, it's a task. Because our learning strategy is task-based learning. Okay, so we talk about tasks. We do not talk about phases. We talk about tasks. And yes, after every single quiz you take, you can check the score right after you finish. So you will know the level in each one of your skills. For the speaking one, once you finish, you will get the score, the level, the recording. For the writing, you finish, submit, and you will get the level according to Common European Framework. For the listening, also, at the end, you will get the score, you will get a number of correct answers, and based on that, you will get a level. For the Saber Pro mock exam, that's the only one that you don't get the level. You get the score, but not the level. The level will be provided by your tutors when we do the revision of the material. Yes, Carlos, the last task is an individual task. Do it on your own. There is no forum post. Everything is individual on your own, and you will individually send your document for evaluation. These are the references for today's web conference. Of course, I use the learning guides for tasks 6 and 8. And like I said, I usually use ChatGPT as a language assistant. I mean, I verify that I'm not doing spelling mistakes or punctuation mistakes on my presentations or my writing, okay? So that's how I usually use ChatGPT. And that reminds me that if you are using ChatGPT for your speaking challenges, it's actually very obvious that you are doing it because the way we speak as humans is totally different from what ChatGPT give us on a script. ChatGPT usually have the same scenarios, okay? So we can see that you are using it because they are all talking about the same thing with the same structure, pretty much the same conversations and dialogue. There's no natural, spontaneous human input into those speaking. So please be careful with that. I mean, I know AI tools are awesome. They can help us a lot, but once again, be responsible when using it, okay? Because the idea is for you to learn. The idea is for you to be able to communicate, to talk on a natural as possible. And if you have a script, it does not help you with that natural flow we are looking for, okay? So please be careful with that part, okay? I'm not saying don't use it. I'm just saying be responsible of how you are using it. That would be my final remark on ChatGPT. Thank you very much for your participation. I don't know if you have any other question or comment or something you want to talk about. No? Okay, perfect. I'm going to turn off, I'm going to stop the recording now.